Hi guys, this is just a review on Act 1. We did some viewing last week. I just want to go over some underlying themes. Let's get started. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, scene 1. We have the fight in the morning. What started it? Capulet servants are trash talking the Montagues just on the street. They're just trash talking. And who should show up? The Montagues. The phrase biting your thumb is like the equivalent of a middle finger. What does this mean? Neither the Capulet servants or the Montague servants wanted to start the fight. Why? Because if you started it, then you're responsible for it. In walks Romeo's cousin, Benvolio, who is the peacemaker. He stumbles upon the fight and tries to break it up, but Juliet's cousin, Tybalt, who is a hothead, egged it on, and they fought in the streets. Again, what started the fight? It was just the fact that they were on the road together. No reason other than one is a Montague and the other one's a Capulet. Prince Aeschylus, who upholds the laws in Verona, draws a line in the sand and said, this is the third riot that is started by these two families. The next time that it happens, whoever starts it will pay with their lives. Scene 1, we are also introduced to Romeo. Lord and Lady Montague and Benvolio talk about how moody he has been. He has been hiding himself in his room, ditching his friends. In the conversation with Romeo, Benvolio finds out he's out of love. He's depressed. He recites these oxymorons, which are two contradictory words put together. What does this mean? He's talking about the good, how good love feels, but also how it hurts. Also, we find out the object of his affection, not even Juliet, it's Rosaline, is untouchable. Why? Because she's about to take her vow of chastity and become a nun, otherwise known as she's going to become married to God. Benvolio tells him, there's other fish in the sea, examine other beauties, to forget Rosaline. Okay, scene 2. Paris comes to the Capulet household and asks Lord Capulet to marry Julia. Capulet says she's too young. We find out she's only 13. However, he's a good dad. He says that Paris needs to win her heart before he would agree to their marriage. But he also puts a caveat and says, you guys need to wait at least 2 summers. Marriage back then was more like a business deal for the upper class. It was the father's job to get a good match, financial, for his daughter. Paris is wealthy. So the fact that Juliet, he wants Juliet to like Paris really shows that he's a good dad. Another little bit of event in scene 2 is there's going to be a Capulet party that night. Capulet gives the servant the guest list to deliver the invitations, but the servant has a problem. He can't read, and he really can't tell his boss this. So he walks out of the house and asks the first person that he sees. Who is that? Romeo. Romeo reads the guest list and sees Rosaline's name on the guest list. Benvolio has a harebrained idea to crash the Capulet party. Mind you, they are Montagues, so that he can prove to Romeo that Rosaline is not that pretty and there's other beauties. He says, I will show you that your swan is really a crow. Dramatic irony alert. The Capulet servant invites Romeo and Benvolio to the party, but doesn't know that they're Montagues, but we do. Scene 3, we meet young Juliet. She is told about the marriage proposal, but her response is really kind of realistic. She's 13, and most of you, if I were to ask you guys, what do you think about getting married? You think, man, I didn't really think of it. Juliet says, it is an honor I dream not of. Her nurse is more of a mother figure than her own mother. Scene 4, Romeo, Benvolio, and Mercutio, who is Romeo's best friend and a relative of the prince's family, are getting ready to crash the party. Mercutio is a cool character. He is a foil character, which is the exact opposite characteristics from another of Romeo. Romeo believes in love at first sight, fate, and the power of dreams. Mercutio doesn't believe in emotional love. He's all about physical love. He kind of laughs at Romeo's depression over Rosaline. He also goes into this Queen Mab speech, which mocks Romeo's belief in dreams. Mercutio, like the compound Mercury, is also really unstable. One minute he's joking and everybody's laughing. The next minute he turns really dark. At the end of the scene, Romeo talks about a dream that he had that is really important, and you guys are going to be responsible for this. He says, I fear too early for my mind misgives, some consequences yet hanging in the stars. What does this mean? What hangs in the stars? Fate. Shall bitterly begin his fearful date with this night's revels. Revels means party, and expire the term of despised life close to my breast. What does this mean? By going to this party, he is setting in motion something that fate has already predestined, that is going to bring about his untimely death. But is he ready for it? Yes, he said, but he that hath the steerage of my course direct my sails. It's kind of like just bring it on. So he has kind of the spidey sense that something bad is going to happen. He believes in fate. He kind of dictates his life by fate. Here's a little spoiler. Who hasn't he met yet? Okay, scene 5. This is the Capulet party. Romeo and company are supposed to keep kind of a low profile because they're crashing a Capulet party. However, when Romeo walks in, Rosaline is like, Rosaline who? He sees Juliet and he's overcome by her beauty. Romeo goes into a long speech about how Juliet is so beautiful, that she is like the epitome of light. Tybalt Capulet overhears this and recognizes Romeo. He thinks he's there to cause trouble. The fight in the street was just this morning. So he asks Capulet, can I do something about this? Capulet says, stand down, because all of Verona is at this party and the Capulet family would get in trouble. So Tybalt stands down, but he vows to himself that he will seek revenge on this. Mind you, he has no clue why Romeo is at this party. The meeting of Romeo and Juliet. These two both like each other. They both fall in love at first sight. It's powerful, it's electric, but they forgot one thing. They didn't introduce one another. By the time they found out each other's names, they had already fell in love with each other. The power of love at first sight. Juliet says, my only love sprung from my only hate. What is the only thing she's taught to hate? Are the Montagues. Too early seen, unknown, and known too late. Prodigious birth of love it is in me, that I must love a loathed enemy. She is destined to love. The only love she has is the only thing that she has been taught to hate. All right. I think that's it. Okay, you guys have any questions? Please let me know. I will have Act 2 stuff done by Monday. Thanks.